Warning! If you might be offended by foul language or off-color jokes, now is the time to kindly f*** off.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Londoner Calling Pubcast. Barry, welcome back. We have a new friend here today, Dave from London.
I wouldn't say friend, he's a Manchester United fan.
There you go. We're starting off early today. So guys, the agenda for today is we are going to discuss the hard men of football, the bruisers, the gunslingers really. We're going to talk about where that kind of went, if it is still in today's game. After that, we're going to dive into a little recap of the weekend. There was a lot of interesting storylines, especially the Crystal Palace fans had something to say this weekend. We'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk about why Dave from London here has a Manchester scarf and his journey of being a fan and how he fell into it and all of that. So Barry, let's get into it. The hard men of football. This is something that we've been talking about for a while. I feel like it was so much more prominent in your day and age.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it. What was it like, some of the players' names, what they would do to earn that reputation?
Nearly every team had their hard man. They had the man in the middle that, was there to win the ball, to battle the ball. If there's any trouble, he went and sorted it out. Mm-hmm. If someone was kicking the shit out of your centre forward, he went and sorted them out. Mm-hmm. That was their role. Mm-hmm. And it's horrible getting old. Everything I talk about, it's like years ago. So I'm like, it's like a history lesson here, really, when I'm doing this. Bastards. Anyway, so we had like Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, they had players. We had Ron Chopper Harris, Norman Bites Your Legs, Leeds United. Okay, Liverpool had one, Tommy Smith. He was known as the Anfield Hammer. Was it?
Norman Hunter.
Yeah, Norman Hunter was Leeds.
Yeah.
Norman Bites Your Legs, but then you had Tommy Smith for Liverpool. Out of all them, and then actually talking about that, if you look at Mark Hughes, he wasn't that role, but what a tough man to play against.
Yeah.
I would never have wanted to play against Mark Hughes. I mean, he's up front. He was a. God, he gets
would you
stuck
throw
in.
Duncan Ferguson into that, the Everton lad?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. But most of them, as I said, they had names like Chopper Harris, Bite Your Legs, the Anfield Iron. That was it. Anfield Iron.
Gotcha.
That was it. They all had names like that. Mm-hmm. And then later on, what did you get? Bex. Stevie G, Lamps. I mean, they don't scare you, does it?
When they changed the rule from you can't tackle from behind, that made a big difference.
Yeah. I feel there's still some players like Roy Keane, Vieira, probably
but even then,
little more future generation.
There's no way in the world you can play like that with VAR.
Where do you see in today's game, who do you see as the tough men in today's game? Because for me, I don't think it nearly equates to what it used to be. I think that the tough men for me in the Premier League, the ones that I grew up seeing, were Diego Costa. I think would be a great shout for it. He's a guy that if he's not on your team, you hate him, and if he's on your team, you love him. I think more recently, Granit Xhaka of Arsenal had the reputation of being a tough man, although I don't think he was one. I think the media portrayed him as one. But I feel like it's almost a trait that's kind of fallen out of today's game because I have a theory for this. I think players have become too smart, and they know when to fall. They know how to get calls. They know how to bait players into these harsh challenges. And they can't be as free and gunslinging as they used to be in the day where it wouldn't get called as hard.
I don't know about smart. I mean, there is that. Because years ago, watching the English teams play, we'd play against in Europe and what have you. And then if you go near a European player, they used to go over. And the English never did that. Now they all do it. Even, in fact, Gareth Southgate, he's actually told the England players, somebody gets on your shot, go over. You've got to join the rest of them, basically, but they never used to do that. It was
the other rule change was it used to be if you played the ball first, it was not a foul. Mm-hmm. Now they interpret that if you were too aggressive, even if you hit the ball first. Mm-hmm. So the rules have changed.
It is that's there was a comedian, from Liverpool. Can't remember his name now. Anyway. He was talking about now, Jurgen Klinsmann, he was one of them ones years ago. If you go near, but Klinsmann is that. Yeah. This comedian, I remember him saying, he said, he was a Liverpool fan. He said, I was watching Liverpool against Tottenham, he said, the other day. He said, I got up to make a cup of tea, I bumped into the TV, and Klinsmann went over. That's the truth, that's how bad it was.
Do we think that VAR has also taken away from the tough men because you can't get away with it? Every move you make is on camera, and they can go back and look at it.
It's actually ruining the game. And as much as I don't like dirty play, I like a good tough challenge. And and again, You loved hockey. You love hockey.
I love hockey. Yeah.
Don't you like hockey when there's a little bit of aggravation
Who
and
doesn't
they're
love a
getting
good
stuck
fight?
in?
Who doesn't love a good
Soccer-
fight? They
soccer was
literally
like that.
let them fight. They literally will just pause the game and let
Yeah.
two guys swing at each other until they're content, and
They
then they
had-
just go back to sport.
There's one. I mean, thank God for YouTube. You can get on YouTube. There's Franny Lee against Norman Hunter. They're trading punches in the middle of the field. Everyone's letting them
I
do
think
it.
I've
I
seen
mean,
it,
it was like watching
The
Madison
referees
Square.
tell them to shake your hands and move
I'm telling
on.
you, it was Madison Square Garden. It wasn't wherever they were playing. I'm telling
Oh
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you think it's an archetype that can kind of come back into the game, the hard man, or do we think that football itself, or soccer, as we Americans call it, is evolving past that stage and that need for it, and instead just has a different way of leadership rather than that rash, challenging guy?
I want to start something today, somewhere, somehow. I don't think it's going to happen because there's too much money, but I want to get rid of VAR.
Really?
Let's just go back to how it was. I mean, you get some good calls, some bad calls. It made the game. Apart from the fact nobody can do anything anymore, you know, it breaks the game up. Now you've got to pause.
See, the
Yeah.
Chelsea fans don't want it on video.
Yeah. Chelsea.
There's a
fans.
reason for
Yeah,
that.
Dave, your thoughts on VAR?
I think I like it in theory, but they seem to. I mean, that incident a few months ago when they completely got it wrong. I think it was a Liverpool game.
It was Liverpool versus Tottenham,
I
I
mean,
believe.
it
When,
wasn't just like-
when Liverpool scored first, and
Yeah.
they called him. They called it was I believe it was Luis Diaz. They flagged him offside. He was miles on, and even after VAR, they even said in the VAR room. I don't know if y'all listened to the
Yeah,
audio.
the
But they
tape,
said like
yeah.
we've got it wrong. But they're already playing the game, and
Yeah.
they can't stop and go back. And Liverpool ended up losing that game as well, 4-3. You look at the context of the title race right now, it's massively important. Liverpool still at the top, but would love extra points, obviously.
We can spend the next year talking about VAR.
Yeah, I don't want to dive too far into VAR. I think that's a conversation for another day. I do want to get into the games. Here's my I'll kind of wrap up for VAR here. And this is my stance. I don't have a problem with VAR. I don't have a problem with the technology. I think is good for the game. I have an issue with those operating it. I don't think those who are in charge of operating VAR do a good job of deliberating fairness, deliberating like equality, making the right decisions all the time. It's human error, not machine error. That's my opinion. So we can dive back into VAR another day, but I do want to get into the weekend's games. I want to start, as an Arsenal fan, I want to start with Arsenal Crystal Palace, but not for the reasons you think.
No, don't give me all that crap. Not for the reasons.
I could sit here and talk about our 5-0 win. I
No,
could talk
you-
about all our Gabriels getting on the score sheet. I could talk about how great we looked at home, but I want...
You've been strutting around like the cock of the north for the last 20 minutes in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Felt great to
There
win
you
this
go.
weekend.
Make-
It'd been a
make-
minute.
make
But
the
I
most of it.
want to talk, and I have pictures here, I want to talk about Crystal Palace's fans. Palace obviously not in a good moment, not in good form. Roy Hodgson back at the club after retiring last year. Almost like he came back as a favor. Now he's still going. It looks like it's been elongated. And they're losing. They haven't won a Premier League game since November 4th, right? They're struggling. They're not where they want to be, not with their fans. And their fans let them know. Their fans brought out posters that said, wasted potential on and off the pitch, weak decisions taking us backwards. And another one that said, no shared vision, no structured plan. Parrish, who's one of the American owners of Crystal Palace, out, Yanks out. Now, what do you think is going to happen, if anything, off of this? Because we've seen protest in Premier League, at Arsenal, at Man United. We've seen it all over the league. This is Palace's turn. They're taking a turn. Do we think they're going to do anything? Do we think they're going to sack Roy? I feel bad for Roy. I feel like he doesn't deserve all of this.
I text you during the game,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, Crystal Palace remind me of my dog.
Yeah.
He knows how to roll over and play dead.
That's the thing. Their
Because that's
team,
what they did.
Their team, bar Eze, I will say, Eze played that young English attacking mid. He is fantastic. He played a terrific game. Every other player on that team looked dead. Lack of vision, lack of effort. The players aren't playing for the manager. The manager shouldn't even be there at this point, and the fans are fed up with it. And it is very different from American sports, in my opinion, where when an American sports team does bad, right, like for instance the Cleveland Browns, who I know they went to the playoffs this year, but in my lifetime, their fans would wear brown paper bags over their heads to the games. I feel like it's such different culture-wise. Where in America, when your team's bad, you put the bag on your
Are
head.
they called the Browns because they're shit?
You would think so.
Okay.
You would think so. But you put the bag over your head and you hope. Where in England, it's, no, we take action. And I love that. I love that the fans are taking it to the owners, demanding more. What do you think about the approach of that?
Actually, have a look at his mob. The Man United fans.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for the last couple of years, haven't they? If not more.
Doing what?
Protest.
Protesting and getting.
Well,
they
I
want-
mean, it's been an ownership
Don't matter.
be owned by the Glazers. And
But the fans,
Well,
at
that's
least
what
they're
Palace is
vocal, they're letting them know
protesting
it.
too.
yeah, there's protests. They stopped a game, didn't they? Wasn't it the
They
Liverpool
delayed.
game?
Yeah,
Or
they
it
delayed the
certainly
game because they
delayed,
went into the stadium.
and also the Super League. I think that was the biggest.
Actually, Man United, they had a great result just over the weekend, didn't they?
Man United?
Yeah,
They didn't.
they didn't play.
they didn't
Exactly. Best result they've had all year.
Oh my god.
You left that alone, he walked right into it,
I
didn't
did
he?
walk right into that. No, that's the first time. That's the first weekend the United hasn't conceded in a while. So
Yeah,
good for that,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, no, they're happy.
But no, so you were talking about Man United's protest and stuff. What do you think, as if anything, came from that? Do you think anything will come from this Palace protest? This is a fairly big deal. It's planned out by their fans.
I think there's a lot of fan power. If you watch, like I follow one of the YouTube channels, the United Stand.
Oh, with Mark Goldbridge.
There's 2 million subscribers.
Yeah, he's massive.
So you've now got
Less than us.
you've
We're
now got
working
the ability to get the message out to a lot of people. I mean, United have got officially over 1 billion fans worldwide.
Yeah.
According to Kantar advertising agency that monitors that. So you've got, with the technology now and YouTube and so forth, the ability to at least get the message out. And yeah, I think the fan opinion has influenced significantly.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that Palace, I'll go way back, I think they made a mistake firing Patrick Vieira. I think that's evident by the fact that they brought in their retired manager back in.
Roy Hodgson, I mean, for his age, you have to say that, he's doing fantastic.
He's brilliant.
But there is a point now, you can see it with the players, or probably not see it, but how do you connect when you're like 60 years older than your players? I mean, now and again, it's apart from talking about football, you know, you pat my hours this, and you can joke about, I don't know, some song that just came out or some band. You can't do that. You need that little bit.
A little connection.
Yeah, you can see they obviously haven't got it, and they need it.
You can see that there is definitely a disconnect between the players and the manager.
Do you have the same problem in the pub with your staff? I'm just asking.
Well, I don't talk to them.
All right, we can move on to the other big storyline of the weekend. That was Brentford 3, Nottingham Forest 2, but the storyline is Ivan Toney. I want to speak on this because I think it's kind of crazy the way that Brentford are hyping him up. As if like I saw at their stadium, they had a whole WWE intro for him where the lights went out and they showed his best highlights and they made him captain and he walked them on the pitch and they're tweeting about the return, as if he's coming back from like some ACL injury. He bet. All right, let's stop gassing it up like he's some hero returning from war. He got caught gambling, all right? So, and also, beyond that, he's going in public interviewing saying, like, yeah, if a bigger club comes in for me for the right price, I'd love to move to a big club. And then Brentford are like, our captain, our hero. I'm like, he's done a media tour talking about how much he wants to leave your club the past week, and then y'all gas him up.
But they have to go along them lines. I mean, if you want to keep the price up to what they're trying to get,
that's true.
Do it. I mean,
that's true.
In fact, I'd sell him now while he's up there and doing all that. He might come back and...
I think he wants to. I mean, he scored in this game. I don't know, did y'all see the free kick he took where he moved the ball? So he did a very David Luiz where the ref put the ball at a spot. He scoops the invisible spray, puts it 2 feet to the right, puts the ball down, whips the ball on the right of the wall and in the net. Very cheeky move, but he's back. He's back with the goals.
Where's the referee in that situation?
He was moving the wall back. He turned around to push the wall back, and Toney very quickly, very
smartly... can't let them be aware, right?
That was another thing too. How does VAR not see that? Did they go back on the goal?
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
It's consistency for VAR there too. But again, back to Ivan Toney. He is the big storyline here. Tough break for Nottingham Forest, by the way. They did snap their 2-match win streak in the Prem. Nuno Espirito Santo doing a good job since coming in there. Tough run of games for them coming up, obviously, but. Back to Brentford, they needed Toney back. They were in very poor form. I believe they were, 5-match loss streak in the Premier League before this game. I don't think he goes in January, personally. I don't know. Do y'all have any opinions on that? I don't see a club that's coming in the last bit of this month and dropping 100 mil for him.
If they were to sell him in January, which again, I don't think they will, and Brentford end up going down, they're gonna. They can't do it. Keep him to the end of the season, one way or the other. Then do it if you want to do it.
Yeah, I think he's destined for a bigger move. If you could pick one club to sign him, who would it be, Dave?
You know, I don't really watch football except United in England.
Okay.
Completely serious.
Yeah.
I don't. I watch United all the time. I'll watch probably every England game in God knows how long.
Yeah.
You need to watch other games because, I mean, you'll be surprised. Sometimes you see a team put a trophy in the air,
Yeah.
something.
You know.
Yeah. No, but seriously, I'm not. I don't really watch the
The
other
other
teams
games?
too
No,
much.
fair enough. That's fine. I mean, Ivan Toney with more goals in his first game. He was, just a reminder, Ivan Toney was banned from the Premier League for 8 months, and he still scored before Anthony this season. You know, just a little fun reminder for our Man United friends here.
We'll keep our eye on him.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So just two. There were three more games that we can touch on here. Sheffield 2, West Ham 2. Late penalty by Ollie McBurney. More VAR controversy. 2 red cards in that game. For the neutral, you look at Sheffield United versus West Ham. You're like, oh, whatever. What a brilliant game of football. What a brilliant game that ended up being. 2-2, 2 red cards. I mean, come on.
Obviously, the goal they got was in the 452nd minute.
Yeah,
evidently.
90 plus 13. Yeah.
There we go. You know, if you're a manager nowadays
Mm-hmm.
and you think, okay, we're winning 2-1 or whatever, okay, yeah, we're winning 2-1. I'll put so-and-so up on for the last 5 minutes. He can give us a good 5 or 10 minutes, take someone off.
Yeah.
But you don't know. You put him on for the last 5 or 10, it ends up being 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And that fellow you put on just couldn't carry it for that long. I
Yeah.
don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get that.
So it's hard for a manager knowing when to take a player off and put someone on just for the last few minutes. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they do it because it just goes on forever.
Yeah, tough break for West Ham there, but huge for Sheffield. That is 2 draws in the last 4 Premier League games. They're still bottom of the table, but any points are good points
Oh,
for
of course
them.
so. Especially with Forest losing as well because they're down there with them.
Mm-hmm.
I like the name McBurney. I'm thinking of putting it on my menu. 'Cause
McBurney?
we used to have it. I don't know if we have it. My daughter might have taken off. We used to have a curry.
Mm-hmm.
Mild, medium, or burn your bum. I might burn your bum. McBurney. McBurney your
the
bum.
McBurney sauce.
McBurney your
You'll
bum.
have to tag him and let him know.
Yeah,
I think,
but let him
yeah.
know if we can use it. He'll probably sue me.
Yeah, maybe. Or
So-
maybe he'll like the sauce.
Yeah. So if you want a curry here, it's mild,
Yeah.
medium, or McBurney your bum.
There you go. For the Sheffield fans
For the
here.
Sheffield
For the
fans.
Sheffield fans. You love that. All right, last game I want to touch on. I'm not going to cover the Brighton 0-0 draw with Wolves. There's not much to talk about there. But Liverpool 4-0 over Bournemouth. It was 0-0 at halftime, and then Liverpool just seemed to flip a switch. No Salah, no problem, but I do want to talk about that. Salah's injured.
Oh yeah, he is.
Salah got injured. He, for those who don't know, at AFCON with Egypt, who Egypt also qualified for the round of 16 with 3 straight group stage. If you haven't been watching AFCON, by the way, it's terrific. 3 draws for Egypt is enough to get them through the group stage. Ghana, the big disappointment, as well as Ivory Coast, out of the tournament. Salah,
That's where it is, isn't it?
yeah, it's in
Yeah.
Ivory Coast, so huge disappointment for the host. There's a picture of Didier Drogba in the stands with his head down. Nice.
So Salah's injured.
Yes, but back to the main thing. Salah is injured.
For what, about a month or so? They're saying it's...
They're saying it's
Well,
about...
Let's hope it's nothing trivial.
Yeah.
They're-
Yeah.
Man United fan over here wishing the best for Salah for sure. But he is out for what is supposedly 21 days roughly according to his agent. They're saying that if Egypt does qualify for the
Well,
semi...
they've actually brought him back to...
They brought him back to it, which I thought was strange too. I thought that was a little strange. You would think that the captain of Egypt, I believe he is, or he's clearly the poster boy of Egypt, of most soccer teams to be fair. You'd think that he would want to stay there, but I guess he's recovering in Liverpool.
It's
and
just,
there's-
I think they want the best people they can get there. You know,
they
I'm not
probably
saying
do.
they haven't got
They
them,
might
but
have better
know.
medical
Yeah.
staff in Liverpool, and they're saying that if they make the semifinals, they want to bring him back. If they make the finals, they definitely want to bring him back. So his tournament isn't over; it is just delayed. While he hopes for
Well,
his
you
team
win
to do
4-0
well.
without him, it's not bad, is it?
Yeah, well, that's Liverpool, not Egypt.
No, I'm not, but...
yeah, Liverpool's people stepping up. Diego Jota, he's come back from
Yeah.
injury. He had a brace. Darwin Nunez, he is, my friends, I call him Professor Chaos because there's no good way to describe him. He's just insanity on the field. You never know what you're going to get. But he scored a brace this game too.
But I was actually able to watch that game. The first half, I thought, no, Liverpool is going to be started. Then all of a sudden, the second half, they completely changed, evidently. And the first goal, if you look at that first goal, it was one touch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just 1-1-1.
It's beautiful, right?
Honestly, I've been on dates where I only got one touch. I was happy. But I'm serious, it was a good goal, wasn't it?
No, it was. It was a good game by them. But that's the thing. If you look at the actual expected goals of that game, both teams had like 1.6, 1.7 expected goals. Bournemouth scored 0, Liverpool scored 4. I think that's the difference between good teams and great teams, is that ability to just take any chance you get. And I feel like Liverpool, with their forwards, the ball striking ability that they possess, they have that ability to kind of...
Well, they're forwards.
games.
Nunez.
Darwin Nunez, yes.
Nunez. I mean, he's getting better. He's dangerous.
He's
He runs. He
scary.
doesn't. No, I wouldn't.
He's scary. He's a
No,
guy
he's-
that they put on the pitch, and you never know if you're going to be watching Peter Crouch or you're going to be watching R9 Ronaldo.
I mean,
Like,
he's got a bit of a nutcase head on him.
that's what I'm saying. He's chaos.
Exactly.
He's
yeah, but
chaos.
they're getting that. Yeah, some players need that. They need that
do.
right on the edge.
It's
They
that
can't.
you don't know what they're going to bring.
I can't put myself in that category. But when I used to play, I was on the edge all the time. That's the only way I could play.
I'd put you in the chaos category.
If I didn't have that, I couldn't play.
I would not want to play you. If back in your day, I would not want to play. I feel like you'd break my leg.
Honestly.
I would talk a little shit though. I feel like then you'd snap my
I
leg.
couldn't kick up a storm, let alone kick a ball now.
All right, so that will do it for the Premier League recap. Like I said, we don't need
Hey,
to...
one other thing.
Okay.
So I was watching that Arsenal game.
Hell yeah.
That's the God truth. So I've looked up and I think it was Gabriel Martinez.
Martinelli?
That's him, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm no good with names, me.
It's all good.
Am
That's
I,
why,
Pete?
that's why I'm here.
Anyway, so I got up. I saw he's got that goal and he's put it in the corner. Anyway, I was chatting. I looked up again and I thought I was looking at the replay.
I thought I was too.
It was exactly the same thing.
I woke up at 6:30 in the morning, so I'm trying to be quiet, may not wake up the roommate, and I'm watching now. It's by 8:30 now, and he scores the first goal, Thierry Henry-esque finish, leaning back, far post. But then right again, I thought they just showed a replay.
Honestly,
it was the exact same
I
goal.
mean, you'd think the goalkeeper was, hang on a minute, that's what he done last time.
No, literally, you would think that Henderson would jump
Yeah.
that way, but no, it was hilarious. For those that didn't see, literally, Gabriel Martinelli scored in the 90+4 and 90+5 minutes for Arsenal.
It was exactly, wasn't it?
It's the exact same
But-
finish, the exact same spot, the exact same goal.
I got a pub in Collierville.
Mhm.
I got 4 Arsenal fans.
Love that.
So I didn't want to send my staff in, so I went and opened up at 6:30 in the morning for the. And that's what we do. I swear to God.
Yeah.
If you want a game, just let me know and I'll open.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bring all the staff in when there's only 4 of you.
Yeah.
But that's why I had to sit there and watch that shit at 6:30 in the morning.
That shit, you are lucky. You consider yourself
4
lucky.
customers, 4 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, I did brilliant that day.
Yeah, 4 cups of coffee and 5
$5,
Arsenal.
$5.50. I could retire now.
Oh, let's go. What have you been doing here? You should be on the beach
Yeah.
right now,
Oh.
chilling in Turks and Caicos. But instead you're with us. But now,
Dave knows about this. That's what built the Londoner.
yeah.
We did that and we still do it.
That's what I think is awesome about the London and about soccer culture is you have people that are willing to wake up at 6 in the morning on their days off and show up just to be around people that are like-minded with them and share that experience, which I don't think you get for every sport.
Barry deserves a lot of credit because
Yeah.
he started this in Dallas, and I don't know about other cities, but there was no football on TV except the World Cup, and that's every 4 years. But
Everybody
regular
loves the World
football.
Cup.
I just want to say thank you, Barry, because I moved here in '92, and I don't think even you had it on till the late '90s. I forget exactly when.
Whenever we got our dish, I know we spoke about it last
But
week.
that made a big difference in my
Yeah.
life, and I know I can speak for a lot of other people, so thank you.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's about. That's what
I
soccer's
can't
about.
take a compliment.
Yeah, I'm about to
That's
say, I'm about to say,
You've
look
never
at
had one
Barry.
before, have you?
I've never seen you not talk in my life.
That's how
and
you
that's
shut me
how.
up.
Is that the key?
That's how you
Is that
don't
why I
do
didn't
it.
know? I just had to say nice things to you and you
Honestly.
just shut up.
Oh no!
Oh my
I'd rather
God!
someone-
I'm back pocketing that one for
Honestly.
a future podcast. Thank you, Dave. That is a lovely
Oh,
tip.
it's absolutely true.
I'd
Oh my
rather
God.
someone sit there and call me
Yeah.
a wanker. I cannot take a compliment.
No,
Yeah.
trust me. I will call you that too. I promise. But I think that really is a great perspective of what
It's
this
true,
is all about, and
absolutely
why
true.
we're
Yeah.
here doing this
Thank you.
because we want to let people know the Londoner is the home for this. You can find people. Look, you're not it's a family. Soccer is a family. Football is a family. Your fans, people you don't know. It's so crazy when you go out and you see someone in. Here for me, it's like I see someone in Dallas Cowboys gear. You can just let it go Cowboys. When you wear your Man United scarf, I'm sure that some other idiots out there saying, go Man United or whatever. But that's what it's about, is finding those random connections and finding a home within the game. And I think that the Londoner is a perfect spot for that, as Dave just attested to.
Right, what's our next subject?
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Dave a little bit. We want to talk. We're going to let Dave talk about why he's here, how he came to
One
love
of the
soccer.
things before we do that, I want to talk. I think I said it last week. What I believe you and me, or what I want this to be. As I said, you can Google, you can read things where it's all technical and stuff like that. As I said, I've played soccer all my life. I'm not technical. I'm just get stuck in and one of them type players. So you've got that side of it. But I want it to be where it's a couple of blokes talking in the pub. One knows about
Yeah.
it, one doesn't. Do you ever hear a thing about? Kevin Keegan played for Liverpool, England manager, was a Newcastle manager, and evidently he wasn't good. They said about Kevin Keegan, he thought tactics was a small white mint. Okay, you ever heard that? Right, that's the God's truth. Yeah. So you can call me Barry Tactic Tate.
No, but I think that is the dynamic that I personally love about this podcast that I think sticks us out.
Well, I
is
don't know
that,
shit.
No, not that you don't know shit, that you do know shit from a different era than I do. Is that obviously there's the age gap, but I come in with all this notes and tactics and numbers and figures and score lines and who scored and when they scored and all that stuff. And you come in with just a completely different view of the game, and we get to come on here and just chat about
As
it.
I said, we'll talk about Dave, and that's because he will.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes, yeah, good
Actually,
to be here.
what we always do, anybody that comes on the show, because we're going to try and get celebrities on, you know, that like soccer, and until we get any celebrities to come on, we'll have people like Dave.
In the meantime,
Yeah, but Dave, you're a celebrity to us, so why don't you tell us about? You say you're from London and you're wearing a Manchester United scarf.
well, I'm not from London, so they call me Dave from London because when I moved to Dallas in 1992, I was living in London. And my first set of friends that I met nicknamed me Dave from London,
It just stuck. There you go.
It wasn't because you were embarrassed to come
Not
to
at all,
Manchester.
no.
You sure?
Not at all. Well, Dave from Manchester doesn't quite have the same.
It never will.
It doesn't ring,
You know,
does it?
certainly
Yeah.
not then. Now everybody knows. I was born actually about a mile from Old Trafford.
Really?
I was born in Chorlton, which is right next to Stretford,
Yeah.
so the Stretford end.
Yeah.
And I would have played for United except for one reason.
The talent.
I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
But I had the shirt and everything,
You were right there.
and I lived there, and I was not under
I
contract
tell
with
you
any
what,
other
you could
team.
play for him today. You don't need to be
I was
good
about
enough
to say-
today.
I was about to say, I don't know. I've seen some of their performances. You might be able to sneak an appearance in there.
So I grew up in Bolton actually, and
Okay.
I started my first experience of United. So I'm definitely dating myself now. So really, the story goes back to before I was born.
Okay.
And if you're wondering why United have got over 1 billion fans, and if you're wondering what all the, why United,
Well, it's full of idiots.
it goes back to 1958 in the early days of the what they now call the Champions League, but then it was the European Cup. And it was the early days, and there was a plane crash in Munich, and in those days there was 11 players in the team and one substitute, and that was it. There was no squad. And United, there was 7 players died out of the 11. The manager nearly died. I mean, it was a tragic event. I wasn't born at the time, but I grew up being told about this. And then 10 years later, the manager recovered in a German hospital and rebuilt the team. So they called that team the Busby Babes because they were all young lads. And then 10 years later, it was a miracle. They not only rebuilt the team, but they got to the European Cup final in '68. And I was allowed to stay up and watch it. It was in black and white.
That's awesome.
And we won. We beat Benfica, so it was a very emotional night. And I became a Manchester United fan and a George Best fan
Oh, George Best.
that night. And ever since then, my bedroom was not even the size of this little thing. There wasn't 1 square inch of wallpaper, including the ceiling, that did not have George Best pictures.
That's incredible. I love that. I love the origin stories in sports and like what got you hooked in and what got you into it. For you, it was a black and white game on the TV watching them play Benfica. That's all. And now look at you here, and you're thanking Barry for creating this environment that helps you bring back to a place where just people love it. I think that's awesome.
With YouTube nowadays, you can go back and watch a lot of these.
Yeah, it's a great game. It's worth watching.
Oh yeah, but we can talk about players. I can, and he can, because we're old. That the likes of you have never seen. Obviously, hopefully, you've seen some on YouTube. When you look at George Best, I mean, he used to dance in and out around defenders. I don't know, his balance was fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Wasn't it? That was his balance.
And the
You know,
pitches were terrible. I mean, today the pitches are like
and the ball,
like a pool
the ball
table.
weighed a
so
ton.
Yeah.
the pitches. I mean, the fact that he was that good on terrible, going through the mud. It was all mud, mostly mud.
Yeah.
So he was great.
Do you know what? I remember playing. I was 16 when I got in the men's team in London. And I'm there, and I got in the men's team, and I'm playing against blokes, beards, belly, tattoos. We're playing against a team called 279.
Okay.
They were a Dockers team. That was the number of their docks down at Canary Wharf. And these Dockers were, so I'm 16. I'm standing next to this bloke. He said to me, "You go near." He said, "You go near that ball." He said, "I'll break your fucking leg." I shit myself, and I'm there. But once the game goes, you're in it. And I remember talking about mud. The ball got stuck in the mud, and me and this bruiser, I'm trying to kick the ball out of the mud, and I'm kicking him more than the ball. He's picked me up with 2 hands like that, Luckily, our captain walked by without even flinching. He went, "Oh, put him down, mate. You've had sandwiches bigger than him," and he dropped me. And they never let me forget that one.
Just straight up.
Yeah, just pick me up.
Picked you up.
It was pretty bad. I mean, that was the amateur game in those days, and it was pretty bad.
It was,
I remember. I mean,
Do you have any other stories of the game
tackles
back in
from
the day
behind.
type thing?
Well, as I said last week, I played at a place, I don't know about you, there's Hackney Marshes. There was one of the Scrubs, it right next to Wormwood Scrubs prison. That's where all the pitches were. And it was just, I don't know if the prisoners used to look out and watch this, I have no clue, but, you know, it was tough. I mean, the referees used to shit themselves as well. I don't blame
Really?
them.
That's
I had
crazy.
one game, I had one
Please.
game where this fella got sent off and he had one of them Volkswagen buses type things.
Yeah.
He got in a bus and he drove onto the field chasing the ref. The ref ran behind the goal to get away from him.
I wish I had stories like that. I grew up playing my whole life, and it's just nothing like it was for y'all, obviously.
It's cool fun, wasn't it, Dave?
Yeah,
It's fun.
we would never get away. If
Yeah.
someone picked up a kid or something, oh, forget about it. You're sent off immediately. It's
Talking
over.
again, sorry.
Yeah.
What we didn't mention, sorry, I'm going right back.
Please.
I had someone tell me this morning, we were talking about the hard men of soccer. I'd like people to get on our Facebook page and all that and tell us who you think was. Because I was talking to a Tottenham fan, Graham Roberts, and he was. You had Graham Roberts, as you said, Vieira. You had other players that I
Roy
can't
Keane.
remember anymore.
I think right now Spurs will try to qualify.
Vinnie
Romero.
Jones, he was named.
Yeah. I think that everyone has their own version of their tough man of soccer
that's
player
not-
that they like. So, yeah, no, again, if you guys want to get involved, we'd love to hear
Yeah,
from you.
this
Let
isn't
us-
just for us to have a chat.
This is not just for us. We want to get involved with you. So please
Yeah.
comment on Facebook or on Instagram. Let us know who your tough men are. Let us know what other questions you want to get answered or what you
Oh,
want
yeah.
to see discussed. By all means,
all
let
means,
us
yeah.
know. So, Dave,
yeah.
obviously, big Man United fan. You never miss a game, I'm assuming, type beat. What is the difference for you watching soccer growing up in being from London or Manchester as to seeing it here in America, and what do you see the growth of the sport being a little bit?
So the main difference is we've already talked about the rules have changed with tackling from behind, playing. If you play the ball, it was never a foul. So what happened is, prior to those rules changing, it was just like Barry talked about, even
Yeah.
at the professional level. Once the rules changed, you've then got, I call it the Spanish style of football, what do they call it, tiki-taka.
Tiki-taka, Pep
So-
Guardiola.
Keep it again.
So the English game changed from basically brute force, long balls,
Yep.
Peter Crouch heading
Yep.
the ball in.
Get up, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was muddy, even the professional pitches were, by Christmas, 75% mud.
Yeah.
Not these days. So the pitches have changed, the rules have changed, which now allows for the tiki-taka passing, and that's for me the main difference in the entire
Do you
game.
remember growing up? I had it instilled in me. Instilled?
Yeah.
What the other? I had it, and I always taught me, the ball or the player can get past you, not both.
Yeah.
And up to the day I stopped playing a couple of years ago, I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I remember, funny enough, growing up watching hockey as well. We were talking about hockey earlier. You either take the puck or the man, but you do not let that boat get by you. It's
Yeah,
the
but you
same
can do that in
premise.
hockey.
Yeah. Oh, you can do a lot in
Yeah,
hockey.
I know.
You can do
I
whatever
know.
you want in hockey.
You know what? Talking about hockey, I think I said last week that's the nearest thing to soccer that you've got over here, that we had over here, that I've watched sometimes. And when I say hockey's getting better, they let it build, they let it play, they let the play go on. If there's a foul, they come. I'm not saying let every foul go on. Stop. They keep stopping the game. Stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. Football's not like that.
Slows it
Soccer's
down.
not.
It
It's
should be
not
fluid.
like that.
It
Let
should be
it flow. They
fluid.
ruin the flow of it with this. With this bar shit.
And then, Dave, one more thing for you. From the fan perspective, how is that different here in America as compared to that in England for you, from what you've seen? Obviously, growing up right next to Man United.
Well, I mean, you used to go watch the games, and that's, as much as I've loved moving to America, I've been here 30 years now, and that's what I said about Barry. I mean, the ability to go to the pub 7 in the morning, sometimes 6 in the morning,
Yeah.
certainly 8 or 9 at the latest.
I've got to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I've got to do a shout out for my ex-wife.
Oh, Lord.
This is a family business. No, we still work
Rosemary,
together.
okay.
She does the one in Addison.
Yeah.
And when we sold the soccer, she actually went and she used to get there early every game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I wouldn't have done it, but I might have given up on some of it, but she kept it going. So she actually built it. She really did with Addison. And you go to Addison, I mean, every game's packed. Every game. It's
Yeah.
one or the other.
Yeah, I think that's awesome though, because I think again that shows the dedication of the fans to be willing to take your day off and be like, nope, 6 a.m. I want to be up. I want to watch my team.
Talking about, I asked Dave if he was too embarrassed to say he was from Manchester. Can you tell us a story when you used to get on 2-3 buses to get to Old Trafford?
Oh yeah,
and
go for it.
and you used to hide your scarf.
Yeah.
Was that because you were
Yeah.
embarrassed to be a Man U fan?
Not embarrassed.
You
no.
sure? Why'd you hide
just,
it?
life preservation.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
No, tell us about that.
No, I'm completely serious.
No, please, I think that again highlights just how serious this is in the sport is in England as compared to America. Because here in America we walk around with our
So-
shirts and whatever, but you can.
So I talked about my first game watching on TV. So I started going to the games in the 73-74 season, and I was living in Bolton, which was about 20 miles away, and I had to catch 3 buses, one from where I lived into Bolton Town Centre, then from Bolton to Manchester, and then from Manchester Town Centre to Old Trafford. So 3 buses there, 3 buses home, and I'd literally, this scarf, which I got in
Yeah.
70, I'd literally have it like
Tied around the waist, almost like a belt, just to hide
Not
it.
even, no, like, and
Oh,
then,
and then you jack it over.
Hey, Dave, look on the good side, it still fits.
there is no way on the planet I would have worn this scarf in,
What would-
in Bolton. No way.
What would have happened to you if someone...
You'd gotten completely beaten up. It's like these days it's different,
Yeah.
thankfully. But it was violent. It was basically what in America we think of as gang violence.
Yeah.
In England, it was the English version of gang violence. There was no guns, but there was everything else. And the gangs associated themselves with the team. So just like gangs here have got their colours and their signs and their names,
Yeah, it's no different.
it's exactly what it was. And
Obviously territorial.
I mean, it was like open fights at the games. It was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally had to be careful.
I think that as bad as that sounds and is, and yes, no one should get the shit beat out of them for wearing an opposing team scarf. Maybe a Spurs fan, I don't know. But I think it really goes to highlight the passion that is in the sport over there in London, which we, to an extent, see here in America. I'd say closest comparison would be NFL. NFL fans can be very passionate, team-driven, and really... at least working for the Cowboys, we hate the Eagles, and I know they hate us, right? So I see that.
You get the odd skirmish, but you've never had
But
anything
you
like
never
that.
see like
Yeah.
that,
It's
where
not
the
even
fans
close,
are
yeah.
literally scared. Because in America, if I were to go to Philadelphia, you might wear a Dallas Cowboys thing as a joke, or they might come here and wear Eagles gear as a joke, right? Just to get in theirs. You can't do that over there back in the day, like he said. And I think that, as dark and twisted as that is, goes to highlight the passion and why we love this sport, because we are so passionate about it that, oh, he's wearing a wrong colored scarf.
Yeah.
We don't get to like him. We're angry at him.
I think even now, I know the hooligans are finished, and as we said, thank God for that, but I think even now, if somebody's got a Man United scarf on, you should be allowed to kick the shit out of them.
I feel like we should get that on a pillow or something,
Yeah,
Barry.
yeah,
That would be
we do.
beautiful. That would be like really nice, like a pillow for one of these chairs or something. If there's a Man United scarf, hit him.
So, as I said, this podcast, it's about soccer, it's about London, living in London, growing up in London. I like it because, as I said, a lot of the customers don't know, they've never been there. You know, so one of the things I remember, we were in a soccer tournament out at the Isle of Dogs. It's right at the Thames Estuary. It's a horrible place, shithole, but we had a tournament there, and it was in like a trailer park. So it was 2 teams from London, there was a couple of teams from up north, and the north and south, I mean, they
Hate each
terrible.
other,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so we're playing, and we got into the final, and we got beat by this team from up north. Being on a trailer park type thing, there was one place that you used to go and have a drink after the game. So the game's been played, everyone's had a shower, we've gone to the game, we're in this bar, and we're sitting there, and they're the fella, the trainer,
Yeah.
coach, he's up there and he's had a change, he's got a check jacket on, gold
Yeah,
chains hanging down,
championship, blah,
and this
blah,
is
blah.
when £50 notes first came out in England. So we're all there in the bar, and he's going, waving his £50, hey bartender, round a drink for the losers. Anyway, he kept on doing this shit all night. Then one minute, he pulls out a cigar. Because you could smoke in the bar. So he's pulled out the cigar, he's lighting his cigar, and I was centre forward, Martin. He went, you know what, you remind me of that, movie star with that cigar. He's puffed his chest out. He said, oh, really? Who's that then? Thinking, Steve McQueen, John Wayne. And Martin's gone, Lassie taking a shit. Biggest fight in the world. It's a good truth. The biggest fight in the world broke out. You know? So it's good.
I love it. No, but that, again, it
Yeah.
just shows the rivalries in the sports and how seriously we all take. It's funny, like, you never lose that passion for the sport, in my opinion, whether you're playing it in just like a men's league, whether you're playing it in the youth leagues, whether you're just watching it as a fan. that desire to win, that competitiveness, I don't think it ever leaves us. I don't think it does. I really don't.
It's nice to see the fan base growing, not just for the EPL, but we were talking about this morning about Atlanta.
Yeah.
And about their fans and
MLS,
how many they get
yeah.
to watch the games.
Oh my God, it's insane.
Really,
It's
You know,
insane.
anywhere where it's growing. I mean, I'd like to go there and just see the game, just to feel the crowd, and you know.
It was incredible. I've been to one Atlanta United game. I was lucky enough to watch Wayne Rooney when he came. He was playing on DC at the time, so I got to see him play in Atlanta, and I was in the supporters section. It was a birthday gift from my dad, and it was unreal.
It's nice to see it, but you do get a lot of it. A lot when they try and, I suppose, emulate or copy what they see.
They do.
And they do with
the crowd
yeah.
chant, and one person leads the chants, and they try to make it European.
Do they have that? Because in England, they don't have someone there with a megaphone, do they?
No, you mean at the games? Or
Yeah, just edging the crowd, you know, edging them.
So the only one that I think, well, I don't know about the only one, but the one Liverpool play on the sound system, "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Yeah, but every club will do
Which,
that.
to be honest, they don't need to.
No, they don't. No.
They're probably the most
Liverpool, and the other clubs do it now, but Liverpool started that, and they really don't need to because
Do Man
the fans.
United have a song?
Pardon?
Do Man United have a song?
We got more songs.
No, but do they have one that Never Walk Alone associated with Liverpool?
Yes.
I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles, West Ham. I want to find out which teams have what songs. We'll do that next week.
The Angel is associated with Arsenal. It was a song released 2 years ago. It's parentheses North London Forever. You might know that as that. But an artist from North London, this was last year, he made a song called The Angel where he literally just sings about his life growing up in North London. The chorus, North London forever.
Yeah.
My heart will
Well,
forever.
the Angel is Islington.
It's called The Angel, yeah. And the whole stadium sings it now. The
Yeah.
entire stadium, it's become Arsenal's theme
brilliant
song.
when you get
It's
it.
awesome. It's beautiful. Like, just
Chelsea, for
watching
some
them play.
reason, when Chelsea come on the pitch, they have a reggae song. Not because of reggae, but they have. It's not even words to it. It's the Liquidator.
Yeah?
Dun, 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 dun. Good night.
So United have a song, but nobody sings it. It's Glory, Glory, Man United.
Okay, yeah. Do you know what?
And it's never sung, but we literally have the most songs.
Like for players or for anything?
I mean, we've got a song for almost every player for the last 30 years. There's one lad, there's a pub near Old Trafford, so if you're going to the game's at 3 o'clock, go to this pub at noon, otherwise you won't get in.
Jeez.
And it's slammed, and it's full drinking and singing. And there's one lad, he gets there at about 1 o'clock before the game, and he stands on the bar, and he's kind of, you know, and he's written all the songs.
Yeah.
He's even got CDs and everything.
Do you know what? I can imagine. We're going to watch Man United. I mean, most teams have got one song. He said they got loads of them. You know why? Oh, come on, I'm sick of watching this shit. Let's have a sing-song. No wonder.
You got to find a way to entertain yourself, right?
Yeah,
I love that. I think that the songs of football season we can definitely dive into a little bit next week. Talk a little bit more on that.
Talking about, because I said each week, because last week we did a thing about Cockney rhyming slang.
Mm-hmm.
Each week I'm going to introduce another word. Last week it was nutmegs.
Yep.
Slang for legs. Actually, it's actually legs, are Scotch eggs. I never use nutmegs, but it was evident at one time. Then sometimes it changes. So Scotch eggs are legs. But the one for this week is bottle and glass.
Bottle and glass.
Bottle of glass is slang for arse.
Would you Adam and Eve?
No, it is.
Would you Adam and Eve it?
Yeah, would you Adam and Eve it? But bottle and glass, would you believe it? Bottle and glass, you never use the whole phrase. I kicked him right up the bottle. Or a bird walking by, have a look at that bottle. But when I worked in the market, because we dealt with Londoners, we had to put slang on top of slang. Mm-hmm. When I worked down there, and the fella said, have a look at that Harris. What's he on about, Harris? I said, what's an Harris? He said, Harris is an abbreviation of the name Aristotle. Aristotle bottle of glass, arse.
There's
It's
like
slang on
8
top of
different
slang.
steps
It's
in
good,
that
it's
that
good.
make it
It's-
so
This
complicated.
is the one this week, bottle and glass.
I think that's cool. I think it shows the culture too of just like this is how people over there speak.
Have
and
you ever
they
heard
just,
when someone said, oh, he bottled it?
yeah, of course.
Okay, you don't, well, it doesn't make sense. You bottled it, that means his arsehole's gone. Yeah, that's what it means. Anyway.
I love
There we
it.
go.
No, I love this. I like that. This is the Time of Our podcast. I get to learn all this fun
Well,
stuff.
yeah. Anyway, what else we got?
I think that pretty much does it, honestly.
What I want to do, I wanted to do something that we're going to do, maybe even this week, but every week at the end of the podcast, I want to introduce Wanker of the Week.
Wanker of the week.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think
honestly,
we're nominated, and I
do
think
love that.
actually, talking about earlier on, I think that my Wanker of the Week, and you might be able to come up with one, is the referee at the Brentford and Nottingham Forest game.
Why is that?
Because he missed it. I don't care. He's got enough people looking on. It's just if I was a Forest fan, and I do know one in town, Mr. McGrady, but I would feel really hard done by.
But what
wanker
call
of the week.
specifically?
Hmm?
What
The
specifically?
free kick.
Oh, the free kick,
Yeah.
not
Oh, yeah.
relocating
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Dave,
Yeah.
do you have a wanker of the week?
I can't think of one.
I know this is on the
I
spot,
don't-
so it's
I
okay.
only
No, we
watch
do it
Un-
next
I
week.
only watch United, so then there isn't one.
Yeah, there wasn't a United game this week.
Yeah.
Anybody you can come up with?
I'm trying to think for wanker of the week. I'm gonna give it to Crystal Palace's ownership. I'm gonna give
There
it
you
to
go.
their ownership.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna give it to their ownership because I think their fans are so justified. Honestly, I think their
So
fans
that's
were
plural.
timid. Yeah.
Wankers.
So
Wanker,
the,
yeah, just the ownership group of
Wankers.
Crystal
So
Palace.
it's got an S at the end.
Yeah.
so the Sherman Tanker of the week is
Yeah, Sherman Tank. That's another one. Cockney slang. Look, he's getting his seat. Dave from
He's
London.
good. Yeah, he's good. This is his first time on the show, and he's already
talking
rapid
about that,
firing.
your name is Septic.
Septic.
You ever heard that?
Please.
I had a
elaborate.
friend. No, someone texted me and he was talking about the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He said the septics need to know what he's talking about. Septic tank is what we call Yanks. Septic tank Yank. It's not derogatory. It's not-
Sherman Tank. I think.
No, not for Yank. It's septic. No, he said the septic. So you're.
Hey, I'll take it as a compliment.
I will refer to you as a septic from time to time.
I'll
we,
take that.
We
I'll
call
take.
them Shermans.
Yeah, they got them. But honestly, most Londoners.
So there's
it's
one thing I
septic.
do want to correct.
Please,
so
go for
the
it.
Shermans think the word soccer is their word.
Okay.
I'm here to tell you that the word soccer is an English word.
Okay.
When I was a kid, we would call on my buddies and say, "Hey, do you want to go play soccer?"
Really?
My dad just bought me a new football.
Mm-hmm.
Where did it come from? Back in the late 1800s, when the English Football League was created,
Mm-hmm.
what we now call the Premier League, 1870 something. Rugby, which is another game, they formulated their league just before, and they called it rugby football. And then when football came along, they couldn't call it football, so they called it association football.
Yeah.
Association, ASSOCA, ASOCA. Soccer is the abbreviation for
Of
association
the name of the
football.
game, so it is properly named.
And it's my era, and all my mates will verify this, we called it soccer. Now, in the 80s, when the American kids started playing, they had the same problem. So they called it soccer because of American football. Well, when the American kids started calling it soccer, the English kids started like, we're not going to call it soccer anymore. And so it ended. And to this day now, it's known as an American
It just became
name.
like a feud.
But it was
basically
an
between
English name, and
Americans
it's
use
a
this word. English people.
abbreviation for association football. So
there we go.
the FA Cup, the Football Association Cup.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Over the weeks when we're going to be doing all this stuff, okay, you're going to get the equivalent of a college degree
Yeah.
with what we're teaching you.
No, genuinely,
Costing
that's
you-
what I love about
it's
this.
not
Is
costing you a
I
penny.
come here and I learn. So I people think I come here with all these stats and know it all. I come here to learn. I listen to people. I listen to Barry. I listen to any guest that comes on, and I learn so much about what it was like growing up and like the origins of like how it was for y'all and what it was starting out for y'all
Hang
was
on,
like.
hang on. You've got to stop saying y'all.
Y'all.
Y'all. That's
I
worse
was
than
raised.
soccer.
I
I don't
was
give a
raised
shit.
in
That's worse
Georgia.
than
I was
soccer.
raised in Georgia.
Y'all. Is that a Georgian thing as well? I thought it's just
It's a southern thing. It's just a southern thing. But yeah,
Alright.
trust me, if you go to Georgia, you will hear people
Right,
say
well,
y'all.
you all, I'd just like to say, I think we've come to the end. So from myself, Dave from London, and the Septic, thank you.